Hi guys, today we're talking about WWE storylines. Not even necessarily the storylines, more the script writing and more the problems with them than anything. So let me start off by saying we are in a particularly good era of wrestling. I think the best era, at least in WWE, the best era of WWE/WWF we've had possibly in forever. In my opinion, is better than the Attitude Era. The storylines are just that much better. The problem is the script writing. The problem is that there is script writing. So, what made something in the Attitude Era that was hokey come across as better than something that's like beautifully written storyline-wise, just not scripted right? I'm going to be all over the place, I apologize. So, for myself and other pretty hardcore fans, this is common knowledge, but for you casual fans, let me take you back to the Attitude Era a little bit. So, what they did was, they didn't hand their guys a script. They said, here's some key points, here's these bullet points here, hit all these, go out there, have a great promo. You had your Stone Cold, your Shawn Michaels that could go out there and just cut beautiful promos, but you had guys that weren't so good. And I can't think of any examples right now, but there's plenty. But you had guys that just were not so good. But they were allowed to get better because they weren't scripted. They were given bullet points and allowed to improve. And it was great because you didn't have to have acting ability, and you shouldn't have to. I mean, it's great. It's a great addition, but you shouldn't have to. All you had to have was confidence. That's the problem. And that's the problem with me and my show, for instance. I don't like writing scripts. I really don't. I'm going to lose track here because this is the third time I've recorded this because I keep losing track. But I don't like writing scripts because it comes across as fake. Because I don't have acting skills. I don't have a background in acting. I'm not a natural actor. And that's the same thing in wrestling. Today and then. Back then, it was better because they weren't given a script, they were given bullet points, so they weren't coming across as fake. Flash forward to today, you have guys like Baron Corbin. Horrible promos. And maybe he's just not good on the mic, but I'm not blaming it all on him. He just doesn't have acting background. So when you hand him a script, he can't make it sound believable. You have your guys today that are great on the mic. Yeah, Xavier Woods, guys like that. Whether they have an acting background or not, or if they're just natural actors, they can sell a script. They can be given a script and they can make it sound good. They can make it sound like they're not reading off of a script. So the script writing itself isn't necessarily bad. There's some really good script writing, but there shouldn't have to be script writing. Here's a general idea. Here's some bullet points. Go out and cut a promo. You give somebody a script, we know it's a script. And as wrestling fans, we know it's scripted. We're not saying it's not scripted. But apart from like Undertaker and Kane having magical powers and things like that like non-wrestling fans wouldn't understand and make fun of us for, we want things that are real. Even though we know it's scripted, we want things that are realistic. Like I said, minus Undertaker and Kane, things like that. But we want something that isn't a slap in the face to us and doesn't insult our intelligence. So, over just my life in general as a wrestling fan, I've been able to pick out little things. I've been able to pick storylines and say, this would fix this, this would fix this, this would fix this. For instance, Dolph Ziggler recently dropping the US title to walk out and then coming in number 30 in the Royal Rumble only to not even be in the top 4, just unceremoniously get eliminated. I would have fixed that. I would have did something different. I could say how I'd fix that. Either, if you don't want to give it to Dolph, scrap that storyline. Don't have him drop the belt and walk out and come out number 30. You do that, you have people expecting something. And guys like me who are Dolph Ziggler fans, we were sorely disappointed and let down. There could have been magic there, and the type of magic I'm talking about is WrestleMania 29, so far the only WrestleMania I've been to. That night, Dolph didn't win the world title, and it was disappointing. As a wrestling fan, I was like, wow, you blew it. You ruined a magic moment there. But the next night on Raw, he cashed in and won the world title, and the roof blew off. I've never heard a pop that loud in my life. Especially not being, going to a live show. It's the biggest pop I've ever heard, and it is honestly my favorite, my absolute favorite moment as a wrestling fan, just getting to be there and experiencing that, because it was just so awesome. And you could have had that again. You could have had it again. But, WWE didn't want to do that. So like I said, I would have either done it, or I would have said, oh, well, we're not going to have him win the Rumble. Why do this storyline? And I've done things like that throughout my years as a wrestling fan. I've said, this could work, this could work, this could work, just examples like that. And just recently I've been thinking about it, and I realized that there's one thing in common with all of them. One thing that's the solution, which is just the general solution to wrestling storylines in general. And a lot of other companies, indie companies and stuff, do it. But even WWE on their large scale could do it, and that is the natural progression and evolution of a storyline. They don't let that happen. It's all scripted to a T, which, it makes more concise storylines. If you want to make a movie, that's perfect. You have complete control over all of it. You don't have to worry about some guy going off script and you have to change the story. It's more concise and to the point. So yeah, for storyline writing, script writing, it is better, at least for a movie. This isn't a movie though. As I've said, we know it's scripted, not fake, scripted. We know that it's scripted, but we still want something realistic. What isn't realistic is when Vince gets the idea in his head for like John Cena or Roman Reigns to be the top guy. Whenever they don't get in there, they each have a lot of fans, don't get me wrong. But the majority of fans, especially guys like me, we don't like them. Yeah, John Cena we kind of respect to a degree, just because he's been there forever, but we still don't necessarily like him. Like, if I met him on the streets, I'd be like, oh, you're freaking John Cena. I'm not going to be like, you suck, John Cena. I'm going to geek out, but we don't want that on TV. We don't want him forced down our throats, just like with Roman Reigns. But as I was saying, when Vince gets something in his head, especially with biggest example, those guys, it doesn't change. If he wants him to be a top guy and he sees him as a top guy, it doesn't matter what we think. We're wrong. Even though we're the fans that he's trying to make something for and make money off of, we're wrong. We don't know what we're talking about. So instead of all that, would make them a lot more money and make them a lot more successful, WWE could get rid of the script writing, do the bullet points again, just like the Attitude Era. The storyline writing is perfect in most cases. Sometimes it's a little but most cases it's perfect. It's better than the Attitude Era. So you add some of the spontaneity in there, and you add even more of it. And what I mean by that is, like I said, the natural evolution of a storyline. So you have two guys involved in a storyline. You have a general idea. Let's say it's AJ Styles and Roman Reigns. You have a general idea. Roman's going to be the guy that gets over. Maybe he'll be the face. AJ will be the heel. Not even necessarily. You have an idea. It's not about heel and face. It's about who's getting over. So you have in your mind that Roman Reigns is the guy to get over. That's what they're writing it as. Roman Reigns is the guy to get over. Anytime Roman comes out, he gets booed right out of the building. Anytime AJ gets out, roof goes off. Giant pop. Change it. Instead of saying no, Roman's the one that's supposed to go over from the beginning. We have to make them realize that Roman's the one that's supposed to be over. No, there's no making us realize something. It's about what we feel and about what we like. If Roman's not the one getting over and AJ is, you change the storyline. It doesn't even have to be if it's a title situation. It doesn't have to be, okay, we change it, make AJ win the belt. You keep it as Roman with the belt, however you want to do it. But change the storyline. Make it so the guy that's actually getting over is billed as the guy that's getting over. Don't keep shoving Roman Reigns down our throats. Change it. And that's kind of what I do with this channel. what I like to do, and I know I'm not always the best, and I trip over my words a lot. You don't see nearly as much of it as I do because I cut a lot of it out, but I stumble a lot. I lose track. Like I said, this is the third time I've recorded this. I lose track of what I was talking about because I don't script write. But when I write, the times I do write something down and write a script, you can tell, at least I can tell. I imagine you guys can tell too. In comparison to this, where I had the general idea in my head, but I had a lot of it worked out what I wanted to say, but it's completely different. When I get in front of the camera, I say it how I'm feeling it at the time. And that's how it should be. If I'm saying something, and there's plenty of times when I'm recording, I'll say I have a whole long train of thought, and I say it, and I'm like, no, that's really not how I'm feeling. And I change it. I'd say, you know what? Scrap that. Redo it. It happens. It sucks because that's a lot of time I'm wasting, but it is what it is. It makes it more real. I know it doesn't seem like it because I'm cutting stuff out, but it's more real. It's if something's not feeling right, if it's feeling too scripted, I don't say I don't leave it in. I change it, and that's how you can do it. That's how WWE can do that. That's how they can change their storylines as they're going along. If someone's getting over that you didn't expect to get over, change the storyline. Acknowledge that they're getting over. Don't pretend that they're not, because we know they are, because they're getting over with us. We know they're getting over because they are. You can't tell us, no, he's not getting over. Yes, he is getting over, or she is getting over, because we're the crowd that they're getting over with. You can't tell us they're not, because we know better than that. We're not stupid. Like I said, we know it's scripted, but don't feed us bullshit. Like I said with injury, somebody gets injured, you can change it. It doesn't have to be just used for that. Somebody's character isn't getting over, change it. Change the character. Or if it's another person's character that's getting over, even though they weren't supposed to, okay, acknowledge that they're the ones that are over. If it means changing a heel to a face and a face to a heel, so be it. If something's working, why wouldn't you just let it work? Why would you sabotage your own thing? That's like with Zack Ryder, Z True Long Island Story. It got over. Rather than let it get over, WWE tried to sabotage it. First off, they said, oh, well, let us stick our fist right up the ass and control this, and then ruin it, run it into the ground. Not, oh, let's use this to our advantage. The fans love Zack Ryder. Let's give him a title. Nope. No, I'd rather not. Let's not do that. We don't want to make money. Let's give it to somebody like John Cena instead, who the fans don't like. Yes, he has fans, but generally, the fans do not like him. We'll take Zack Ryder over John Cena any day. That is the solution. The single solution that will work in any storyline. When something's not working, change it. If it means removing somebody from a storyline or adding somebody to a storyline, then so be it. Change it. Change the end goal of the storyline if it needs to. It's okay. Let the story evolve. You have an idea of where it's going. If it goes another route, let it go another route. And that's just like, I used to write things a lot. If I'm writing a story, that's how I do it. If I'm writing it and I say, you know what, I had an idea of it going this way, but this would work better. So you do it. You go with what works better, not with what you wanted to do in the first place, because that's what you want to do, and if you're prideful or whatever else, and you know best, stop and go with what works. Playing with wrestling action figures. You know what I did with that? For me, wrestling action figures, first off, weren't just banging two pieces of plastic together. Wrestling action figures, for me, is creating storylines. And it's something you could do a lot better with action figures than with video games. Yeah, there's storyline editors and creators and stuff now, but it's not the same. It's the same thing as what I was saying with how WWE is right now. Everything is scripted. You script everything, write it all yourself, and it just plays out. It's the same idea. It's not even fun. Like, for me, it's not fun. Yeah, it's cool for other people to see the storyline and watch it play out, but like, as you're making it, you're just right, like you're doing everything. You're writing it all and just watching it be played out. With wrestling action figures, and you sit there, you write not write, some people write, but you have an idea for a story. Just like if you had your own wrestling company, you have an idea for a story. Here's a feud, you know? As you're doing it, as it's going along, like for me as a wrestling fan, I could, it's weird, it's gonna sound really weird, but I could, as a wrestling fan myself, I could kind of be the audience myself. I could watch this match that obviously I'm controlling, and I could say, you know, I don't like the way this is going. This is the way I want it to go, but as a fan, if this was actually going on TV, this would not get over for me. This is what would get over. And just change it right there. Yeah, that's what I understand. Like, I get that it's a big company. They make a lot of money. Maybe they don't want to take some risks, but sometimes you have to. And it's honestly less risky. If something is getting over, you let it get over. There's examples where they do, like with Rusev Day and things like that. It gets over, but still, even that they kind of hijack for their own good, you know, for their own use. But sometimes they do let something that's getting over go. They let it get over. And those are some of the best times in wrestling, some of the best storylines, some of the best moments. Because it feels real, because we know it's getting over, and they accept that it's getting over, and that doesn't always happen. I think with Triple H in charge, with him having more and more power and being in charge, I think it'll get to that. I really, really do. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I think it really, truly will get to that point again. Well, again, when it comes to bullet points, but I think I could see him allowing storylines to evolve. I could see him letting things that are getting over actually get over. People that are getting over actually get over. I could see him being flexible with a storyline. That's what it is. A storyline doesn't have to be this rigid thing that you follow. It's a guideline. It's an idea you have that can change as time goes on, just like anything, you know? Let it evolve naturally, just like, you know, a person's normal day. My plan today is to go to the mall, get some shopping done, go grocery shopping, then go to work. Well, at the mall, I run into CM Punk. Instead, I go have lunch with him and have a long, meaningful conversation, and then I call off work. Weird example, I know, but I'm just saying, the natural progression of a day, the natural evolution of a day works that way. You have something in mind. Sometimes it goes that way. It works out and it's perfect. Other times it doesn't. It's the same thing with the storyline. Sometimes it goes a different way. So let it go a different way. And you'll see some magical things happen. You'll see some really awesome storylines that way. And with the money and the resources WWE has, if they do it, they will absolutely crush any indie scene. Impact will finally be put out of its misery where it belongs. And it'd be nice. I personally like to see the competition, but still, you get my point. It's if they could do that with their resources, we get to see some really, really awesome things. And we currently do. Like I said, this is one of the best times, if not the best time, to be a fan of the WWE, but it could be better still. So hopefully, Triple H, Vince McMahon, whoever, hopefully you guys see this. Take some of my ideas. If you really want to just steal them, that's fine. But hey, bring me in, you know? It'd be nice. I'd like that. It'd be really cool. Sponsor my YouTube. Yeah. But still, seriously, if you guys watch this at all, take my advice. Even just any wrestling company, if you watch this, take my advice, because that's how you can succeed. Let it evolve. Let it grow naturally. Don't script it. Don't script it, because we, as fans, know what's scripted. We see it a mile away, so don't script it. I've probably missed like 6 points, but I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I really, really appreciate it, and I hope you took some things out of this. You know, especially those of you that may be more of a casual fan, don't really follow too much in depth, like behind the scenes stuff. You know, you get to see a little more how it works. Granted, none of us really know how it works, but we have a pretty good idea. So, like I said, hope you enjoyed it. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what some of your ideas are, even for current storylines. old storylines, future storylines. Let me know what ideas you have. Because I love hearing wrestling storyline ideas. Dream matches, dream storylines, dream feuds, whatever. I love hearing it. So drop those comments down below. Give me some likes, no dislikes. Because I want you guys to have good karma. Share. Sharing is caring. And it really helps me get out there. It's the only thing that really helps me get out there. I mean, yeah, people come across browsing, searching, whatever, but sharing is what really gets it out there. Because then maybe those people share and those people share. All you guys watching this, if you've gotten this to a third or fourth share, go ahead and share it again. Helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate it. Oh, most importantly though, more importantly than anything else, any of that, don't just have a great day. Have a hardcore day.